Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapna Dadwal. I'm working as a professor in the Department of Management. This is lecture 6 of Organizational Behavior. The subject is taught in BBS semester 2nd. The topic I'm going to cover in this lecture are attitudes, features of attitudes, component of attitude, functions, nature and types of attitude, then sources and formation of attitude, and change and barrier to change of attitudes. I'm going to cover all the topics related to attitudes. Attitude is an individual characteristic way of responding consistently in a favorable or unfavorable manner. So in the words of Goods and Scotland, attitude is a tendency or predisposition to evaluate an object or symbol of that object in a certain way. So attitude refers to the way a person feels about something. He can feel something about a person or a place or a commodity or a situation or an idea. So it is an expression of an individual's position of his negative feeling about something or positive feeling. Attitude may be a positive, it may be a negative. Now the features of attitude. The important features of attitudes are given below. Attitudes are learned. Attitudes have subject-object relationship. Attitudes are relatively enduring state of readiness. Attitudes are invisible, we cannot see it. Attitudes are pervasive, everywhere. So everyone have their own attitude. Every human being in this world have attitudes. Now the next topic is component of attitude. Attitudes can be broken down into three basic concepts, that is emotional, informational and behavioral. So there are three components of attitudes. First is cognitive or informational. The informational component consists of belief, value, ideas and other information a person has about the object or about any commodity or about a person. Then second is affective or emotional component. Affect is the emotion or feeling segment of an attitude. It involves the person's feeling of likes and dislikes towards the attitude of object. The third is behavioral component. It refers to an intention to behave in a certain way towards someone or something. So these components show that an attitude can be considered a way of thinking, feeling and behaving. Now comes functions of attitudes. The first is adjustment function. Attitude often help people adjust to their work environment. When employees are well treated, they are likely to develop a positive attitude towards the management and organization. So these attitudes help the employees to adjust to their environment. Then second is the ego defensive function. People often form and maintain certain attitudes to protect their own self-image in front of the world. So this is called as the ego defensive function. Then third one is the knowledge function. Attitude provide people with the basis in the absence of knowledge. Attitude often substitute for knowledge. In the absence of knowledge, people use their attitude to organize and make sense of the perceived object or person. Then comes the value expression function. Attitude provide people with basis for expressing their values. The next topic is nature of attitudes. Attitudes are different from belief and opinion. So belief and opinion will not be called as attitudes. So attitudes are thought to guide behavior. Attitudes are individual expressions. Attitudes are evaluation of various attitudes objects. Now comes types of attitude. The first is degree of job satisfaction. The term job satisfaction refers to an individual's pleasurable or positive emotional state towards his or her job. Attitudes are related to job satisfaction. The more employee will have job satisfaction, the more positive attitude will have towards the job and organization. Then comes second type of attitude, that is extent of job involvement. Job involvement refers to the degree with which an individual identifies psychologically with his or her job. and perceived performance level important to self-worth. Then comes third, organizational commitment. So this is the last type of job attitude, refers to organizational commitment. Organizational commitment means one's identification with his or her organization and feels proud to be being part of it. So when a person feels proud to be a part of a certain organization, that is called as organizational commitment. Now, sources of attitude. Direct and personal experience. One's direct experience with an object, person, serve as a powerful source of attitude formation. Then second was association. A new attitude object may be associated with old attitude object, and the attitude towards the later may be transferred to the former. If I don't like someone, then maybe it may be possible my attitude is negative towards someone. It may be possible my attitude will be negative towards his or her friend in the beginning. Then comes social learning. Attitudes are also learned from others as from parent, teachers, superiors, etc. An individual may learn by having a contact with others. Social learning make it possible for a person to develop attitude towards something even when he has no direct experience of the attitude object. But we learn from the above. We learn from our parents. Then formation of attitude. Psychological factors. The first is psychological factors. The psychological makeup has a crucial role in determining the attitude of an individual. The psychological makeup is made up of employees' perception, ideas, belief, values, and information, etc. Then second comes family factors. People spend a major part of their time in the family setup and learn from family members who provide ready-made attitudes on diverse issues such as education, dressing sense, religious belief, political, economic issues, etc. Then comes the social factors. The social factors are ultimately responsible for the development of attitude. Societies differ in terms of language, culture, norms, value, belief, etc. So we learn from society and we make our attitudes. So social factors are again a powerful source for the attitudes. Then the organizational factors. Our employee spends a major part of their life in the organization in which they work. Thus organization factors such as work condition, nature of job, peers quality of supervision or remuneration, cautious, trade unionism, informal groups, factory layout, and locations. They also powerful source of attitude formation. Then comes political factors. Politics play an important role in shaping the attitude of an individual. So political factors such as ideologies of political parties, political stability affects the attitudes of people living in a particular country. Then economic factors. A person's attitudes towards diverse issues such as pleasure, work, marriage, working woman, etc. is influenced by economic factors too. Then other factors are also like role model in one's life. So we make attitude because of a role model. Whatever role model we follow, our ideas, our attitude is affected by that role model. Then mass communication like television, newspaper, etc. They also feed audience with lot of quantities of information, large quantity of information, and our attitude sometimes form because of that information. Then comes the neighborhood where people live also affect the attitudes of people. Now comes attitudes relevant for OB. There are three attitudes: job satisfaction, job involvement, and organizational commitment. I've already discussed in this lecture. What are these? So I don't want to discuss it again. Now comes Effect of employee attitudes. Employee performance. Employee performance is higher if the employee have higher level of job performance, job involvement or organizational commitment. If employee has a higher level of job performance, job involvement or organizational commitment, then his attitude will be positive and it is going to perform his performance. He will give you a high performance. Then employees turnover. It is the rate of changed in the working employees of an organization during a specified period. So it signifies the extent to which old employees leave and new employees enter into a organization in a given period of time. So job satisfaction, job involvement, organization commitment highly affect this turnover. People are highly satisfied or they will not leave the job. Then absence and tardiness. Absenteeism is unauthorized absence from workplace, while tardiness is type of short period absence ranging from few minutes to several hours from the job. So generally attitude affect this absence and tardiness of the employees. Then violence at workplace, it may be verbal or physical, is the most extreme consequence of lack of job satisfaction, job involvement, and organizational commitment. If people are satisfied, they have commitment to organization, then there will be very less cases of violence in the organization. Then comes next topic is change of attitude. Attitude can be changed in the following ways. First, by changing ideas and beliefs of people, we can change their attitude. Then second is by changing feelings or emotions of employees, we can change their attitude. By changing situational variables such as causing negative attitudes, we have to find out what are the variables which are causing negative attitude. So by changing those variables, the attitude of the people can be changed. Then by changing the undesirable behavior of employees, the attitudes can be changed. Now, barriers to change of attitude. First is cognitive dissonance. Refers to any incompatibility that an individual may perceive between two or more of his attitudes. Means he's confused between his attitude and his behavior. So this is called as cognitive dissonance. This is called as cognitive dissonance. If the person is confused between his attitude and behavior, then it is a barrier towards the attitude change. Then prior commitment. Sometimes it has been seen that there is an occurrence when people feel committed to a particular course of action and they don't want to change, they are unwilling to change. So this is again a barrier to change in attitude. Then third was insufficient information. Sometimes people do not see the purpose of change. They are confused, maybe because of insufficient information. So as why they should change. So unless they will not be provided proper information about the change, they will not change it. So insufficient information is also another cause of barrier to attitude change. Then comes how these barriers of the attitude change can be overcome. The first is provide sufficient information to the people, to whose to those people whose you want to change the attitudes. You have to tell them, you have to clear them why the attitude change is required, what they are going to gain out of it. Only then they will change it. Then attitude can also be changed by use of fears. It has seen that sometimes fear is a powerful weapon for the change of attitude in people. Then attitude can be changed by using influence of friends and peers. The next way is another way of changing attitude is by resolving discrepancies between attitude and behavior. Then comes the attitude can be changed by co-opting approach. This is by taking people who are dissatisfied with situation and getting them involved in improving things. Then by giving proper education, the attitude can be changed. Now these are the questions which are related to the above topics. If any query is there, please do contact me. Thank you. Thank you so much.